Well, g'day, folks.
Ooh.
How you going? We're having some technical issues here. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Wow.
So, sorry about the delay. Our computer decided to be
uncooperative to the max.
and it is because Larry from Plum Travelers has been doing boycotts against Max. So we're just trying to get everything working.
Larry actually offered to do a streak across the field as well, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
I think we came up just in time.
Just as a quick thing here, folks, just wanted to say g'day to a couple of people. So first up, Larry from Plum Travelers was first in the chat, followed by Thin Blue Lane. Welcome aboard, folks. Then we've got Outdoor Adventures
Ron. Hello,
with Ron. G'day, Ron. How the hanging, buddy? We got Lorraine from Traveling Adventures. We're traveling with special abilities, I should be saying. We've got
how do, Rob? How do?
G'day, Gov. How the hanging, Gov? Sorry to bring you in with this stuff, but hey, anyway, let's go.
You might need the keys for the handcuffs very soon.
We'll need the keys, yeah. Better behave, mate.
G'day, Amy.
Wait a minute. Rob is saying, are we letting you out at all once for today? Well, you're going to let us out whether you like it or not.
It may be one at a time.
Yeah,
you might
that's
have to do
right.
A census on us.
That's correct. Sense us. Amy, g'day, Amy. Well done. Nice to see some of your creative streams coming up on board. Larry is just giving everybody the hint that we need to do a bit of the old thumbs up, please. That would be greatly appreciated. What else have we got going here? We've got
Najuma. G'day, Najuma.
Najuma, welcome aboard, Najuma. Nice to have you here. Okay. Rob is starting his 2 cents worth here. Now, hang on a second, guys. We might get a little bit of noise happening in the background for a second, because I think I've got my...
Are you going back to your PC now, are you? Where we're working off
the real thing, because that way we can actually do things properly.
And we'll get our guests in.
Yeah. I'll just cue that for a minute and see how we go. Oh, well, I'll let it take its time. It's only a computer.
That's all right. We'll get there.
Yeah. Okay, carry on, please.
Let's see who else is visiting us today.
We got Najuma. We've got Larry and Najuma all having chats.
Hola, Rafi.
Hola, senor.
Good to see you.
Good to see you there.
Hey, Cindy.
We've got Cindy there. Sir Douglas.
Kathy, long time no see. CA Cruiser. How are you, Kathy? Nice to see you.
All right. Okay. I've had enough of this. It's about time we got the rubble-rousing mob in here.
Okay.
Start off with Mr. Comedian Extraordinaire. Sir Dave.
How are we going?
Buddy.
Welcome, Dave, in. G'day, Dave.
How are we?
Oh, we're doing good, mate.
Very well.
As soon as I can fix this particular issue, we'll be doing extremely well.
You're clever because your mouth isn't moving, but your voice, ventriloquist.
Oh, that's good. It's like I've got one machine trying to figure out what the other machine's trying to do and how to spell it. I like being a ventriloquist. You know that.
Sean has been accused of talking out his bottom, so there you go.
I mean, I talk out of the heart of my bottom anyway, so hang on a sec. Let me see. Now we've got our second guest here, and this couple actually has a fantastic channel called The Uber Cruisers. So welcome aboard, Ian. How you going, buddy?
G'day, guys. How are you?
Hey, Ian.
For one half of the Uber Cruisers today.
Yeah, there's only one Uber Cruiser today.
It's lovely to have all Aussies on today, I think, for a change, and catching up and talking about what's happening here, because it's looking very promising.
Yes.
Indeed, it is. It is. It's looking really good.
It is. Just before we actually get stuck into that, Ian and Sandra have a channel called the Uber Cruises. Ian, give you the opportunity to talk about your channel.
Well, it's not much of a channel, but it's basically just a travel channel, a cruising channel predominantly, you know, I started it a few years ago, and I'm miles behind on all the video content that I've got, at the moment I'm posting a Japanese cruise from 2019, so that's how far behind we are. So and in fact I've got 2 videos to post which are completed and ready to go, and I just haven't done it yet. So it'll get there. But yeah, I really enjoy the editing side of it, strangely enough. The problem is my content is not particularly good.
Hey, it is what you make it, right?
It is excellent.
Well, we certainly don't have any of the professional camera gear that some of these vloggers have, but I enjoy it. So, and of course, you know, my wife and we both enjoy traveling. So
you don't need professional gear.
Sorry?
You don't need professional gear.
No. You're absolutely right. You don't need professional gear, and a lot of the successful YouTubers out there use mobile phones. So
correct.
I'm a little bit more upmarket. I've got my Sony FDR X3000.
You're swearing now.
But that's a great little. This is not a plug for Sony, but this is a great little action camera, and it does also. In fact, last night we had a storm come through. Did you have a storm, Dave? Up in
No.
Yeah, we had lightning and thunder and stuff. It wasn't a big storm, so I quickly grabbed the camera and put it on time lapse, and I actually haven't looked at it yet. So I just like mucking around with stuff like that. So.
And does that go underwater as well? That camera?
Yes, but it's not waterproof as it is. It has an underwater housing, and it works well underwater. Actually, yeah, works well.
Excellent. And just give us a little rundown, Ian, of your cruising experience.
Well, my wife and I, I've done 21 cruises, and my wife's done 20. So I'm outdoing it by 1. And my first cruise was when I was 20. I was 20. It was 1979, and it was on the Sitmar. It was on the Fair Star, which is a Sitmar boat. And then
that's a long time ago.
It's an antique.
Oh yeah. And eventually, Princess or P&O took over Sitmar and absorbed all those cruise ships. I think there was the Fair Star and the Fair Sky, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think there was a Fair Sea as well, if I'm not mistaken.
You might be right too. Yeah, Fair Sea. Yeah. So, and that was a great cruise. That was a New Year's Eve cruise for 17 nights through the South Pacific. I went with a mate, and we had the time of our life. I mean, back in those days, you can imagine that alcoholic beverages were like 40 cents each for a mixed spirit drink. So it just, of course, now, you know, cruise ships are basically pub prices, aren't they?
Yep.
I actually don't. I don't think that's a bad thing either, because just imagine if you were paying 40 cents for a mixed spirit drink on a cruise ship these days. Everyone would be paralytic. So
yeah,
absolutely.
It gives a new meaning to those drinks packages, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And back then, did you actually have a bathroom in the cabin, or was it one of?
Well, we did. Yes, we did. But there was back in those days. So we were in a room with four beds in it, and two bunk beds, and we had our own bathroom. So we were lucky. The two other guys that were in our room, they were just random guys that were assigned to our cabin. And funny enough, both of them actually were traveling with their girlfriends, but of course their girlfriends were in another cabin, and so it was cheaper for them to travel that way than it was to have a double room. And back in the 70s, maybe people didn't play up like they do these days, I suppose. I don't know, but yeah, so no, it was great. I mean, the food was just as good back then than it is now. I mean, I still remember having midnight buffet, and they bring out all this food at midnight, and it was a little bit different. Like, it was sort of set up separately, but it was still a great cruise. And funny enough, where we travel to or where we cruise to, I don't think any cruise lines travel to those places anymore. Like there was like Tonga, Nuku'alofa, a lot of those sort of, I won't say obscure islands because they were great places to visit, but they all go to Fiji, and as you know, New Caledonia, New Zealand. I don't know of any that go to, but I guess the ships were smaller back in those days as well.
Yeah.
They seemed big at the time, but of course nowadays.
As a child living in Fiji, we used to, as a child living in Suva, we used to, it was a big deal when, I know the Fair Star well and the Fair Sky, because we used to go regularly to the wharf, because it was a big deal when the ships came. We'd have the Orellana in, and and the Sitmar cruises, and we'd stand there and wave at people we didn't know and throw streamers and
that's right. Yes, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Well, there's a photo of me. No, it's not here, but there's a photo of me when I was like 18 months old on my father's back, and my grandfather was going to Canada, and it was on the overseas passenger terminal, and we were all standing on the actual wharf itself, which would be a no-no these days. And there was all these streamers and stuff like that. So we're talking about 1961. I was born 59, so 1961, 62, and my grandfather was, going over to visit my uncle who lived in Vancouver at the time. So yes, but what else about it? Yeah, so basically that was our cruise. So that was 79, and then our next cruise. Sorry, I'll just mute my phone because it'll keep making noises if I don't.
We'll just welcome in. Sorry, and we'll just welcome in Kenny. Hi, Kenny. Good to see you. And Halfwit Harvey is here. Good day, Halfwit.
And Nick P is here as well.
And Nick P. Thanks for joining us.
And
Hilda's
here.
Hilda.
And
Benet. Hi, Benet.
Oh, and we've also got Matt
and Kimbra. Welcome.
And Dewey's here as well. Dewey Ski. So.
Sorry, Ian.
No, that's okay. Not a problem. So you sort of have to fast forward to the 2000s, which is when my wife and I then did our next cruise, and that was on the old Tahitian Princess. I'm just trying to think what year that was. I think it was 2007 by memory. I'll just look it up because I normally. Yeah, so that was on the Tahitian Princess, and that was we flew to what's the capital of Tahiti? How can I forget?
Papeete.
Oh, Papeete. Sorry,
that's right.
Yeah, so that was 2007. Yeah. So, and then since then we've then done 20 more cruises. And the only reason I've done one more than my wife is because a few years back, my brother and his wife and my father all went on a cruise on a Holland America ship, and I went to fill the cabin up. So I travelled with my father.
So question:
yeah.
How did you and Dave get to collaborate?
Well,
I mean, he's a nefarious character, right?
well, I mean, I'm just trying to think that. I think it's just, was it first on Facebook?
Well, yeah, it might have been through Matt. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, through Matt. Yes, it was. It was through.
Good old Matt. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Matt had the Cruise Geeks, and then
That's right.
with Tony Barnett, and then so it would have been through that, because you've met Matt face to face, haven't you, Dave?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So so I think that's, and then because Facebook, I mean, I'm a moderator on La Lida Loca, and Dave's a moderator on
Cruise Addicts.
the Cruise Addicts. Yeah.
Right.
So
There we go.
Didn't know that.
Oh, jeez.
I did see you being interviewed.
I just lost your sound. Oh no.
There we go.
Can you hear us? Oh,
Oops.
sorry. Hang on.
Don't you love technical?
Listen, he's not asking me for help. I could sort this out,
Thanks, Dave. The technical guru.
Yeah.
Hey, Alana, can I say one thing?
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Can I say one thing, Alana?
Yes, Dave.
If you put your hair down, if you let your hair down, I'm dead set looking at Morticia and Uncle Fester.
Oh, hang on. It's not Halloween just yet. Don't give it away. That's who we were last year for Halloween.
That shirt you're wearing is Uncle Fester to a T, Sean. Get a light, mate. Put it in your mouth, please.
A light bulb. Yes.
I think I've got one somewhere, but I just can't illuminate it.
Yes. We're practicing for Halloween. Don't worry. Oh dear. Wow. So you've got a huge amount of cruising experience, which is fantastic. We're very envious.
Most of our cruises have been on Princess. We've done 18 Princess cruises, and then we've done a few others, and that includes the Fair Star, because believe it or not, if you go to my cruise history, it actually appears on the Princess cruise history as a cruise. So yeah.
Is that
Dave's a Royal Caribbean cruise, if I remember.
I am Royal. Yes. Yep, always Royal.
Loyal to Royal.
People often ask me on sites, would you go elsewhere to cruise at other lines? And I said, well, until Royal give me a reason to try something else, we're happy.
Fair enough.
Mate, they're only giving you 5 stubbies, not 6.
That's all right.
Well, we've only been on Princess at the moment, but we're looking forward to. We're trying Carnival. And we're looking forward to that.
Well, we've been on Carnival. I wasn't too impressed with it, I have to admit. And that's on the Carnival Splendor out of Sydney last year. In fact, that was a COVID cruise. We were in New Caledonia when the ship was ordered back to Sydney. So that and I don't know, it was just an old ship. I don't know, I just didn't like it.
Very quickly, Matt asked the question, is Halloween a big thing in Oz? And the truth of the matter is, no, it's not. The only Halloween thing we'd be worried about is whether or not our beloved Premier lets the gates open and lets us go cruising.
That's it. That is it.
And
go on, Dave. I was going to say, and we don't have Halloween that way. We don't have to drink that terrible spiced coffee you drink over there at Halloween. It's disgraceful.
Bloody Halloween. Bloody Halloween got in the way of everything.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
Can't keep up at the moment. This is going all over the place.
Oh, jeez. Let me tell you, this is frustrating.
So you weren't impressed with Carnival, Ian, because you said was a slightly older ship?
Well, I think it was more. Well, one of the things that irked us a lot. I mean, we're not smokers, and all the smoking areas had all the best parts in the ship. They had the whole sort of like back end of the ship up the top, around the spa area, and it was a large area. It was a large smoking area, and so you couldn't sit anywhere because you were just enveloped by this cloud of smoke, and that was frustrating. I mean, the food was good. Had no problems with the food. Had no problems with the entertainment. It was just an older ship, I get the feeling, and you may agree or disagree with me, but they often send all the daggy ships down to Australia. I mean,
yes,
look
we
at
do agree.
Australia. They've never had one. They've never had a new ship in their fleet. They're all hand-me-downs, and the Carnival Splendor and the Carnival Spirit, they're all old ships.
Which is interesting because Australia apparently has got the highest per capita number of people who cruise.
Yeah,
that's correct. Yes,
so you'd think that there's a huge market here. Why wouldn't? Apparently, the Celebrity Edge is coming, I believe.
Yes, I heard that. Yes, which is obviously one of the newest ships.
Yes,
that's something. Yes.
That'll be nice.
Yes,
Dave, you've been put on notice apparently by Matt. He's saying that you shouldn't anger Kimbra with the pumpkin spice comments.
She does throw axes. We've seen the footage.
Yeah, I know. It worries me. I think I'm going to have to use my karate to defend myself. Seriously. So what do you reckon about these gates opening up?
Me or either. Oh, look, it's a goer. It's a goer.
Well, it has to be, right?
Look, it's driven. It's now driven by the federal government. It's driven by this national plan, and it's now based on economy. And as soon as you base something on economy, it'll happen. I mean, it's going to be. They've got a few things to sort out. Would I jump on and go straight away? No, probably not. But I'd be happy to jump on a plane March next year if it's fine and go to Vegas or something for a week. And it's got to happen. And interestingly, we had an email from Royal last week who said, we've got a free cruise. It's been sitting there forever because we can't use it. And they said, if you want to use your free cruise, here's some options in January out of Australia. And which they've been advertising for. It's not going to happen, but they've been. So we rang up our loyalty girl that we speak to, and she said, look, it probably won't happen, but they haven't given up. They're still in dialogue with the government as far as doing January forward with Ovation. Yep. But the interesting thing she did say, she said, look, I can tell you, she said, cruising will definitely be down here next year. And she said, and the word they had, and this come back through Royal, she said, the word they had is Australia will be flying well before Christmas. And then, of course, 2 days later, out come the announcement. And look, Scott Morrison, and I don't want to get into the politics of it, but Scott Morrison, he's just absolutely incessant. And look, it's got to happen. People forget as well, as much as we want to go and come back, there's that many people from Australia that have been sitting overseas for nearly 2 years that can't come home.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, it's a goer.
Look, we look at it this way. Chairman Dan has got to let the gates down here. You guys are pretty well on the way to opening up fairly shortly. Queensland is a bit of a question mark. What with those latest infection rates? The only question is whether or not Western Australia will become seceded from the rest of Australia.
Well, it's owned by China now, so it may well happen. But
I thought McGowan's eyes looked a bit funny.
Look, it's been a long time coming for people, and people. Interestingly, Sky News was set up down at Circular Quay yesterday or the day before, and they were doing like a live stream, and people were walking past, and they're pulling people over and saying, you heard the announcement, yes, and they interviewed all these people with quick grabs all the way through and asking them would they go overseas. There was not a person that they spoke to that didn't say the quicker the better.
Yeah.
So the appetite's there for it. I mean, they said at 80% open up. I mean, you look at US, you look at UK. I mean, it's happening. Come on. I mean, we probably struggle more with it than everyone else because we're so remote.
Yeah.
Correct.
Hey, I believe there's a group cruise coming up in October of 2022.
There is? Really?
Yeah, I believe so. On the Carnival Horizon. Sorry about that, Ian. On the Carnival Horizon, and yep, and there'll be a one of the things we're doing is a Tim Tam Slam. We need to teach these Yanks how to do a proper Tim Tam Slam. So I need some help. Are you guys going to join us? 15th of October, 2022 to the 23rd. Carnival Horizon, Miami to the South Caribbean and back to Miami. 8 nights.
Well,
yes, I can't make it because we're already booked on a cruise in the Mediterranean.
Oh, now we hate you.
That's nice.
Which was a cancelled cruise from last year. So we've basically, and the good thing about that is that we got future cruise credits or extra future cruise credits, and the price is two grand cheaper than last year. So
isn't that incredible?
And it's a balcony versus an inside room. So
Nice.
Yep. So we're laughing at
yep.
Hopefully, I mean the only scary thing will be the price of the blank ticket. I think.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah. Well, that's the question mark, and unfortunately, right now, trying to find any flights for that time period is just almost impossible.
Yeah.
Well, we've now noticed that there weren't flights beyond. We couldn't find anything
beyond May,
and now August now, and actually, so far the prices are fairly reasonable. We were quite pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
So we're crossing fingers that it stays that way for October.
Yeah. Well, if you can believe the garden gnome from Qantas, the boss, he says they're gonna have prices competitive. What competitive means, I don't know, because if it's only Qantas flying in and out, the competitive will be what they want to charge them for, I suppose. But we saw some flights the other day for the US, and we normally get our flights return between $950 and $1,000 cattle class. They were about $1,800.
Oh,
so double.
Yeah.
So take it as what you will.
We've never been able to get flights that cheap. That's a good price. You can get it for $1,000.
Yeah, we've always we've always got them for around there. But so we've got a heap of velocity points now, so we can fly a couple of times for free.
Yeah.
So, but we'll just we'll wait and see. But the trouble is, you don't want to chew all your points up on overpriced cruises either. So, overpriced flights, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a question out in the chat.
From Plump Travellers, that's Larry.
The question is, whereabouts in New South Wales do you hail from?
Oh, Australia.
Well, I live in Sydney.
Okay.
The capital of Australia.
Yeah, right. Pick a window, you're leaving.
And that's just to throw a spanner in the works. But I live in a suburb called Sutherland, which is the Sutherland is what's it called? It's the birthplace of Australia, because Captain Cook was it Captain Cook that first landed in Kurnell.
Yep.
Back in 1770, and of course then we ended up going to Sydney Harbour. But that's why if you look at our Sutherland Shire logo, it's got a figurehead of Captain Cook on it. and that's in the south of Sydney. So that's in the southern suburbs. It's also commonly known as God's country. So
Really,
Dave would know that.
really,
Really?
yeah.
Although currently Dave lives on the Central Coast, so that's pretty close to God's country as well.
They're beautiful too, yeah.
So Amy was on a cruise recently this last week, and she goes, the cruise was to the Bahamas, so it was 4 nights or something. And she goes on her cruise. They had a trivia,
That's right.
and people thought that Sydney was the capital. Now, Amy's claim to fame in terms of Australian is that she does work for the Outback restaurant.
Yes, a very, very strong connection there with Australia.
Yeah,
There.
it is in Texas, right?
We have a laugh about that.
Yes. Well, I've been to the Outback restaurant in San Jose, California, or somewhere near San Jose, because my wife's has relatives in San Jose, and we visit them every as much as we can. Certainly, every time we go to America, we visit them. And I remember one of the cousins took us to the Outback restaurant, and that was our first experience. I think it was our last experience too.
Yeah. I went to the Outback restaurant in Tampa.
Oh, yes.
Before we did a cruise, and I worked out why they called it Outback, because that's where I ended up throwing up. I got food poisoning before I even got on the
Oh, dear.
Mate, it was Outback.
But the funny thing, if you look at the Outback restaurant, if you look at the map of Australia, it's got Tasmania in Northern Territory, and it's got Hobart in Western Australia. And I'm thinking, lucky Captain Cook didn't read this before he come over.
That's right. That's right.
That's why we occasionally like to do a bit of Aussie trivia, just as a sort of for educational purposes.
Larry is saying that he thought the birthplace of Australia was in New Zealand.
Hang on, Rob. Gov Rob might have something to say about the birth of Australia, as he likes to rub it in.
Yeah, he sure does.
About our convict past.
Well, every time Rob on the road talks to me, he talks about allowing me out of lockdown, in chains. So I think we need to teach these pommies how to lead a good life in Oz.
Well, all the Kiwis are in Bondi, so
yeah, that's right.
We share
yeah, that's right. That's right. But don't they call
but
New Zealand Australia's 8th state?
That's it, exactly.
something like that across the Dutch or the ditch.
They wish.
Across the Dutch.
Yep.
Mm.
Sure.
Matt's saying the Outback tries to pass off photos of American alligators as crocodiles hanging on the wall.
Well, Matt,
And welcome to Michael Ann.
Hello.
Welcome aboard. Nice to have you in.
Welcome.
So your next cruise, Dave?
Well, we've got one from Hawaii back to Sydney next year.
A repositioning?
Yeah, repositioning, yeah. On Ovation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and it looks like we'll probably be doing this other one you're talking about. So we'll probably get off at Sydney, get on the plane and go back across. So,
Mate, that sounds like a real plan.
That would be awesome.
I'll tell you what, I'll do anything at the moment. I just want to cruise. So we've been trying to book cruises for 2023, but we've had that as like we've just had that many cancelled. It's just given up. We're not giving up, but you just get so sick of booking them. But we can book with confidence now, I think. So we booked the Hawaii back to Sydney on the basis that if we got halfway back across and the Martians attacked again like before, well, at least we're going to end up back in Australia. We're not going to end up somewhere else,
But I believe you've actually got some new technology to help us protect from the Martians. You fixed the microwave.
I fixed the microwave. I open the door and look out. We kill anything. I'm just sick of this pot plant in the corner, mate. I want to get out.
Mate, just smoke it.
Hey?
Just smoke it.
Mate, I woke up the other morning, I was standing beside my bed. It's scaring me.
It's like the day of the Triffids. Oh, my God.
Ian, when's your next cruise?
Well, it's the ones in October in the Med. what it is. It's on MSC. And we haven't cruised on MSC before. And MSC, they've got a scheme where they honour your status in another cruise line. So we instantly become, I think it's called Black Diamond or something with MSC, because we're elite with Princess. So we're the top tier in Princess, and we become the top tier in. I don't know if it really will include all that much, because the deal already includes the internet and the drink package, so I'm not quite I don't know what else there is to get.
Wow.
Now be honest with me. Do you actually drink enough to make the drinks package?
No, I'm not a big drinker at all. And normally the drink package would be a waste of money. In fact, we've never purchased the drink package. Because with Princess as well, when you're elite, you get free minibar. So you get those small little spirit bottles. You get a few beers and you get some soft drink in the minibar. So and that gets replenished. So for instance, if it was a 14, well, for instance, in 2019, we went to Japan on a cruise, and even though we booked it as a 14 night cruise, it was actually 2 7-day back-to-backs. So halfway through the cruise, the minibar was restocked again because they counted as another cruise. And in fact, if you look at our cruise history, it says that we've been on 2 cruises back then, even though we only booked it as 1 cruise. So there's stuff like that, but if you were to do an 11-day cruise, I think in the South Pacific, well, they wouldn't you'd only get the 1 restock, I believe.
So you're only allowed to drink one set of minibar, right?
Yes.
So on Monday you start with the gin. Tuesday it's the VB. Wednesday it's the boy. Yeah.
See, that'd be awesome, because if you got into a port to take off and you saw the minibar, for me I can finish this before the ship takes off. That's a challenge. But see, Royal do it as well. They have a diamond club and they have free drinks between things like that. But the trouble is with Royal is the Diamond Club got too big with their loyalty programs.
And
we did I think it was Copenhagen from Tampa, and the Diamond Club through the loyalty status was that big, it couldn't fit enough people in. They had about 600 people on there that were to that, so they had to farm them out to other bars but if you go and watch the Diamond Club on Royal, you can have as much as you want. There's no limitation, and you can have whatever you want. But what people were doing is ordering a cocktail, taking a mouthful, and just putting it down. Don't like that, so just go and order something else. And it's just such a waste.
It is a waste.
But I think they're changing it around now. They're going to put drinks on your card or something. But gee, they must spend some money. It must cost the cruise lines a lot of money.
Yeah.
So Rob says a minibar is a pub with less than 10 taps.
That's it.
Yes. Well, the good thing about Princess is if you weren't a whiskey drinker, you could swap the little bottles over to all gin or all vodka. If you didn't drink alcohol at all, you could swap it all over to soft drink. So you certainly
very accommodating.
It was very accommodating in that matter. Yeah, sure.
So Sean and Alana, how confident are you going ahead as far as it's going to kick off? Do you think it'll happen?
Oh, absolutely.
I think we're feeling really confident.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
I reckon I've already packed the bags. I'm only allowed a Ziploc bag, so
Cole's bag.
Yeah, that's it. No,
not even that.
Not
Dave.
even that.
Seriously, it's a medium size. I'm being very generous with him. A medium size Ziploc bag. He has a pair of jocks, his toothbrush and toothpaste,
and a pair of budgie smugglers.
And if he's lucky, that's it.
You're overpacked, mate, if you're taking jocks.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'll be in my budgie smugglers all the time.
Well, we pack twice here. I pack mine and Sue tips it out and does it again. You know, as I said before, what she fits in 2 bags, I couldn't fit in a double garage. I just hate it. I get a shirt, a pair of shorts, a pair of shoes, and I'm full. Out of colours.
You know what, Matt's just adding to the discussion. He's
That's
going, what about my hair products?
Yes, that's a whole nother bag.
Well, the good thing about Princess Elite is that you get free laundry. So, you know, you don't have to take as much because you just every day you hand them a bag full of clothes and you get it back in the afternoon all nicely washed and pressed and whatever.
You know what the challenge is with that one, Ian? The challenge is you've got to be able to do the 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 cruises in order to make it to Elite. And to be quite honest, we haven't been that lucky over the last 18 months.
Well, our last one was cancelled. But the good thing about Princess is the self-serve laundromats.
Yes.
I don't think there's any other line that has that. I don't know.
No, we fell for that trap. We went with some friends to New Zealand on a celebrity ship, and they'd been on Celebrity before. And, of course, we were wandering around the hallways looking for the laundry. And, of course, then we found out they didn't have one. So we had to end up paying to get some stuff washed. So, yeah, that's a trap, especially if you're with Princess because, you know, they have laundries. What about, does Royal have laundries, Dave? Or
No. You got to pay for it, but it's
you pay for it.
Again. They don't miss. I think it's $25, and we get a free one. I think on your loyalty, but the first time we did it, I said to Sue, I'll sort it out. I packed the bag, and we paid $25 to have 1 sock, a pair of jocks, and one of Sue's bras washed, which didn't work out real economical. So next time she packed it, and I think she put half the floor of the cabin on in the basket. But yeah, it's you know, we tend, the first time we ever went away, we went from Australia to Vegas, and then we did a cruise, and the stuff we packed was ridiculous. I mean, yes, you're so overpacked. We could basically fit in 1 bag now, because see, I love the old Royal cruising shirts. So I don't take many shirts because we go on board and they have a sale, $10 a shirt. I just go and buy 10 shirts.
Larry made a comment and he said, so what are you saying is for us cruise virgins, we only get to bring our birthday suits? That's about right.
Well, if you don't want to do any laundry, that's the way to go.
And then Matt also said that Carnival has self-serve laundry on it.
That's good to know.
So that's okay. Dewey Ski is saying, I like having my laundry done on board because they fold better than he does, and it makes it easier to repack. Tommy, g'day, Tommy. How are you, buddy? Nice to have you on board. Apparently, Cunard has them as well. Matt, if you have a cove balcony, you can just hang your clothes over the side
and drag it through the water.
That's
Get
it.
a long string.
That's it.
That's it.
Just yeah.
Squeeze a bit of laundry wash on them, and there we go.
Be nice.
There's a thought.
Yeah.
Well, just recently, Princess changed their perks, if you like, you know, for the different levels of status, and they've taken off, because we used to get free internet as well with Elite.
Yep.
And they've taken that, off the Elite package now. So, and it's because, you you probably know this, that Princess now introduced Princess Plus.
Yes.
Which includes drink package and Wi-Fi, and because they've updated their Wi-Fi on all their ships now with their medallion class.
Yeah.
So yeah, and their Princess Plus is not too bad a deal, but I haven't really looked at it to see the true value of it as yet. Time will tell, I guess.
So what do you think will happen next year down here, as far as, because see, Fiji's a no-go, isn't it, at the moment? Is that still a no-go?
Well, no, I think Fiji is one of the countries that's on Qantas's
yes.
Hit list.
to open up to start flying to.
Yes, that's weird because they got a person, a mate I know that he works over there in Fiji, and he said that the place is just a mess.
Yes,
no vaccinations, no nothing. So, I mean, they may next. I mean, it's a long way off, but I just don't see how some of the states will be prepared to open up to cruises. So it may well be, you go up the north coast and give Queensland a miss and end up somewhere else. I don't know how they're going to do it,
but you know what, Dave? To be honest, I believe the world is coming to the conclusion that right now that money is being thrown away, left over, hand over fist.
Absolutely.
We need the world needs to open up because people need to feed them their faces. Very simply.
Well, the big thing is, and it's not just about travel either, Sean. It's, mate, the mental health side of this is just it's horrendous. And look, I know I'm not doing it tough here, but I mean, but nor is anyone else, I suppose. But 14 weeks here, to put it honestly, mate, I've had enough.
Yeah, but hang on. I understand that one. It's because you've got 14 months of New South Wales. What can I say?
Oh, you stay down there with Dr. Dan, thanks.
Dr. Dan?
Yeah.
Chairman Dan, please.
Yeah, well, he's an expert on everything.
Yeah. You know what the definition of an expert is?
No.
The X is the unknown quantity and the spurts that drip under pressure.
That's very good, actually.
And that's our young... No, let's get out of politics. So, it's the Mediterranean. Now, what actually got you guys, Ian, picked on the Mediterranean?
Oh, well, we've been to the Med before. So we did a 21-night cruise through the Med a few years back. And so, look, I mean, last year, when we had booked the cruise, we were also traveling to Germany. We're going to a place called Oberammergau. Oberammergau is a town in Germany that every 10 years they put on a play called The Passion of Christ. And it's a famous play that actually goes for the whole year. And of course, because of COVID, it was cancelled. So they're actually putting it on again. They postponed it for 2 years to 2022. So we're hoping that, although we haven't booked it yet, we're hoping that we'll go to the reboot of that play as well. Because if you miss it 1 year, you've got to wait 10 years before they put it back on again. And it's one of these things where the whole town gets involved. And, and
it's all done outdoors too, isn't it? It's all done outdoors, and you follow.
It's sort of like an open theatre. Yeah, it's like an open theatre. We've been to Oberammergau before, but only on an off year. In other words, a year when they didn't have it, because it's also famous. A lot of the houses are painted with nursery rhymes, but with a German twist, I guess. And so, yeah, we've got lots of photos of all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, my wife speaks German. I wouldn't say she speaks it fluently, but she certainly, she's very good with French and German. And so she's got a love for a love. I'm not sure if a love is the right word, but she certainly is pretty good with languages. And the funny thing is, when we do travel to Europe in particular, I'm the one doing all the talking, and I don't speak any languages. Sorry. And so I'm trying to explain to somebody in my broken English what I want. And of course, and Sandra's standing behind having a good old giggle, and then the people they're throwing their hands up, frustrated because they don't understand what I'm trying to say, and then she'll come in and go, oh, blah, 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 and she'll tell them exactly what, But I'm the one that looks like an idiot, but anyway.
Isn't that always the case?
It's always the case, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Tommy's lived, I can't pronounce that place.
Oberammergau, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the tickets are in short supply. Yeah.
Probably
Look,
will be.
if we miss it, we only have to wait another 8 years. We'll say. I mean, my wife saw it in 1984, so it's every 10 years. So it's like 2000, 2010, 2020, 2030. She saw it in 1984, which is like a different year because it was a special anniversary year. And she, this was before we were even married, and she saw it in 1984. So she's already seen it.
So, folks, just in the chat there, you will notice that there is a link there. That is the link to the Uber Cruises. Have a look at their channel. It's actually quite an awesome channel. You get to see Ian in all his glory. Well,
not quite.
Well, we've been enjoying your Japanese trip on the Diamond, and
Yes.
we've seen your Fiji series. Of course, it's a special thing for me to see. I love anything to do with Fiji, so I've enjoyed that. And we look forward to more content, Ian.
No worries. I'll work on it.
Yeah, let's do that. So,
Darian, speaking of German and Germany.
Young Darian has come on into the chat.
He's
Welcome aboard, Darian.
Lovely
nice
to see
have
Darian.
you. Matt is saying, I don't know actually who he's talking to, but talking about snorkeling in Alaska. Have you ever had that opportunity, Ian?
Oh.
Dave?
No.
Me?
I probably had the opportunity, but I would have said no.
Yeah, well, as you probably know, I have been snorkeling in Alaska. So I've got a video up showing me snorkeling. So
yeah,
the interesting thing about that is that it wasn't really cold. I mean, you had the appropriate wetsuit. It was a 7mm wetsuit. Now, most people know that a wetsuit can be as thin as 2mm. So we had the right wetsuit on, and the water was cold, yes, but the wetsuit did a great job. So
did your voice go up an octave or two?
Not quite. I was a little bit angry, to be honest with you, when I went snorkeling that time, because they gave me weights, because I wanted to dive down, because the wetsuit makes you more buoyant. And so I had the weight so I could go down, but the weights kept on shifting on me, and I kept spinning around, if you can imagine, underwater. And in the end, I took the weights off, and then I missed the giant octopus that they found, because I was sort of dragged behind. I was kept on, so I was a bit disappointed with that. But anyway, it was still worth it. I think it was a cruise ship arranged a shore excursion. So I think it was about $140 US. I think it wasn't cheap.
But they never are. The cruise ship arranged excursions never are. I find that you can get the same excursion cheaper.
I feel your frustration, and I sent my first wife for a swim with weights, but she escaped. Those vessel blocks, they don't make them like they used to.
I was just going to say, Dave, when you go snorkeling, the snorkel bit should actually be above the water, not below.
Mate, with my honker, I just lay on my back and dog paddle. Breathe through my nose.
Hang on a minute. Now, there's an image. Lying on your back and dog paddling, that's not going to get you anywhere.
I give new meaning to the wing curl.
Oh. I believe you invented jet propulsion then, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Dave, you're about as bad as... Well, we're going to have fun on that cruise if you're going to join us. That'd be awesome.
And look on and be scared. This is the sober version.
Oh, dear.
Be afraid. Be very, very
I don't know about being
afraid.
scared, but and that would be fun.
So, what
Yes.
is the rest of this week hold for you guys?
Not a lot. Oh,
Not
the
a lot.
Bunnies, Mighty Bunnies playing the grand final tomorrow, South Sydney, but that's in Brisbane and I'm down here. But yeah, no, we're actually going back to our old system. Sundays travel day, so we're going to start really looking for some travel and getting some stuff booked and with some reality and get some stuff up and running. So we've got to put a line in the sand and start moving forward with positivity.
Yep, correct.
Dave, I believe that you're from the manatee family.
Yes.
Because according to Matt, manatees control buoyancy through flatulence.
Yes, but I'm a professional diver, so on that basis, so I'm sponsored by Heinz Baked Beans. I can do anything I like. I look like a synchronised swimmer.
You must be very buoyant.
Oh yeah. So guys, don't forget tonight is the start of daylight saving.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yuck.
Which is a good reminder now that we are, as of next week, 1 hour later here, Australia time.
So on the listings, we will be broadcasting normally for those across the pond at your standard 10 p.m. time, but our time change will be at 1 p.m. on the eastern seaboard of Australia. If you are coming into our Wednesday sessions, we are running to Australian time. It's about time the rest of the world learned how to follow us. We are ahead of you, so just bear in mind. So we will be running at 8 p.m. as per normal, which will equate to, I believe that's 5 a.m. on the eastern seaboard of the United States. So
we may be talking to ourselves, but that's fine.
No, we'll get the important people coming in.
Kenny will be there. Obviously.
There'll be people, yes. The early risers will be hopefully still with us.
Jury.
Yes, Amy, I know. Just as you figure out the time difference, I know it changes. It's going to change again.
Yeah,
when you guys come off.
Yeah, when you guys come off daylight saving, and I hate daylight saving. I really do. I think it's such a waste of time. Seriously. And it's at the wrong time of the year as well.
Well, the problem for me with work is with the time. It sounds stupid, but because Queensland's still in 1914, wherever they are up there, they're still ringing up. My clients are still ringing up here at 6 o'clock at night because it does my head in. I mean, a country this size should be just one time.
Hey. How do you think the guys on the New South Wales Queensland border feel? Like guys in tweed heads.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
right. Because you just step over a line.
My family lived 20k south of Tweed Heads, so whenever they make, especially my father is 91 years old, so all the medical he has to go to is in Queensland. And and of course, whenever they make appointments, they always say, New South Wales time, Queensland time, so it's a real nightmare.
Okay, so Rob on the road says DST makes no difference. Daylight saving times make no difference to him. It will still feel like 1948 there. But then he is in the UK, so what can I say?
And Larry's rolling on the floor laughing due to Dave.
Yeah, well, Dave makes it. Dave's the world's greatest comedian. How's the microwave?
Sitting over there. It's a bit lonely, mate. It's a bit lonely. Was having a chat to the hairdryer before, but I think they're not even talking anymore. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, the heels hoist just gets a spin out of everything, doesn't it?
Oh dear.
It does, mate. It does. Technical genius that I am.
Well, yeah. But then I find that really hard to believe.
Go figure. Go figure, I think. It took me about 4 weeks to learn how to ring you up on my mobile. Or you were just blocking me, one or the other.
No, I wasn't blocking.
You're not using a tin can and a piece of string?
Well, sort of. I've upgraded. I've got 2 tin cans now.
Oh, okay.
What
That's when you call Queensland.
is that one for each ear?
That's for Queensland.
I've just got to buy along the piece of string.
Oh gosh.
I think
That's
on that note.
Can I just say something? Can I just
Please.
show you a photo of something? Because my daughter was here just before we came on, and I jokingly said to her that I would show this photo of my children.
Yep.
Now, that's the daughter that was here.
Yep.
She's now 30-something years old, and this is when they were in high school. And I said, well, I'll embarrass you by putting this photo on. So
Now everyone's seen it.
Yep, they've seen it now. So I just thought I'd embarrass her. Of course, she's now pregnant with her second child.
Congratulations.
I was about to ask if you're grandparents.
Oh yes. We've got two on the way. So
Lovely.
my son in Melbourne, his partner's expecting a baby in early November.
Oh, that's awesome.
Lovely.
So unfortunately, we won't be able to get down there to see them. So, well, maybe we will. Who knows?
You never know.
Well,
Hopefully, Christmas time we may be open.
as Chairman Dan says, I promise it will be another 5 weeks. That's it. No more after that.
Yeah, 10 months later, and the rest. Would
I'm
like
sure
to
the
say
Americans
thank you.
have no idea what we're talking about. when we
No,
say-
that's right.
Let's
trying-
leave it as Dan.
We're trying to educate them.
How many days has it been? Do you know officially that we have been in lockdown?
239.
You're
There
not
you go.
counting, are you?
Is that all? Crazy.
I'm only
already.
counting the days to the next cruise,
And
which is
probably-
380.
So there's a comment there, Ian, because of the school uniforms.
Yes.
Sorry. I don't know if you've seen it. Oh, I can't. It's
No.
not working. No, okay.
Of course, in America, we see that it looks like Hogwarts with the uniforms.
Yes.
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 Whether you're public or private schools here, you wear school uniforms are compulsory.
Yes.
Matt's just asked, where is my beer service? She's out shopping.
Oh dear. You're lucky she's not there.
Dave,
I'm going to slap Sean for that, and you can for you.
Dear.
Uncle Fester.
Yeah, no. I'm bringing a light globe next live stream.
Good on you. That's
LED.
awesome.
LED, you're up market, mate.
Oh,
No halogen for us. Oh dear.
so Larry from Plum Travelers has actually corrected me.
No. That's for day countdown to the cruise.
That's correct. I said 381 days, and he
Oh,
says
sorry. I thought you were saying about days in lockdown.
378 days, 10 hours, 51 minutes, 49 seconds, 32 nanoseconds.
Wow. So someone
Yeah,
is
right.
counting. Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. The
Something
countdown.
to look forward to.
Yeah. the
Now,
countdown
all we need to do is
live.
Now, all we need to do is line up and get our passports, which, as you said earlier, Dave, is going to take at least, 4 months with the rush?
No, online now. I spoke to another mate of mine yesterday. They thought they were. They're doing them online. He got his back just last week in 3 weeks.
Was that a renewal or a brand new one?
No renewal.
See, mine's actually expired for now about 11 months ago. So I think I had to do a new one.
If you go on the website, as long as it's expired in the last 3 years. As long as
Okay.
you've got 3 years grace. So I think they've done that because of the obvious with COVID.
A discount would be even better to make up for the time lost. But anyway.
Okay, question. For a brand new cruiser, person who's going on, it's their Virgin cruise. What have you got? What advice have you got for them?
Take your time. take your time,
Virgin Cruiser.
and realise that every day on a cruise ship goes 5 times as quick as it does on land. Just take your time. Take your time.
Exactly. Yes. Explore the ship. You know, I mean, it's amazing how many people don't explore a ship. And as well, you know, I mean, we're not big specialty restaurant eaters. We tend to stick to the MDR, the main dining room. So we don't say that specialty restaurants are a waste of money, but you know, it's an added cost, and it's anywhere between what, $20 and $50, depending what cruise line and what restaurant you're going to.
And remember, it's US as well.
Well, for us anyway.
For us Aussies.
Yes. So yeah, that's right. Yeah, and just you know, enjoy yourself. This is something Princess has just changed as well, which we're a little bit disappointed with. I mean, we're not really sociable people, you know. But when we go on a cruise, we always get on a dining table with either 6 or 8 people, and it's always at a set time. So, you know, we'll always have the late sitting or the early sitting. Usually the late sitting is what we prefer. But now, of course, Princess have stopped that now. They've got I think called My Time dining, and you just pick the time that you want to eat. Now, what we enjoy about going on a cruise is meeting new people. And, you know, we still have friends now that have been, you know, friends years ago that we've met. And you know, and we're still friendly and friends with these, even though these days it's a virtual friendship in a lot of cases. But you know, it's something that we enjoy, meeting people. And so a lot of people, when they go on a cruise, will try and sit by themselves. And we tried that, and we didn't enjoy it, strangely enough, even though we're not particularly social people. So
it's the thing you'll realise, and don't be the moron that I was on our first cruise, and we get on there and they're doing the sail away party and all these people start standing up and dancing, and my comment to Sue was, gosh, these people must be long-time cruisers. Look how well they know the dances, because I didn't realise they were staff. But that aside, I never made that mistake again. And about 20 spoke to me again. But you will find with cruise, you just really got to bring it back, take it back, and find out what works for you. But it'll go quick. It'll really go quick. And even with ports, you just take your time, and the one thing I can guarantee you'll do is you'll be on that ship and you'll be looking for something else to book. Absolutely. It's I've said before on here, it's the only place where 3,000 people can have 3,000 different things they like doing and all be able to do it in the same location.
Yes.
You work it out, you know.
First of all, Larry from Plum Travelers asked the question: if you wanted to sit alone, you and your wife, so be it. Yep, you can. In a lot of cases, just going into the MDR is an opportunity for people to meet. So, but if you wanted a table, we did. We switch it up. Every couple of nights, we would go in and sit with say 6 or 8 people at a table, and then we have a table on our own. So it's up to you. You can really, you really have your own opportunity.
But we tend to do any time dining because we don't want to be, if it's a port day and we come on at a time, we may not want to eat at that particular time. You're not stuck with it if you decide that you know, one night you don't do your own time dining. But we just like to be a little bit flexible.
Sure.
And either choose to sit by ourselves or share with different people.
Matt also said, Matt from Fantastic Studios said, meeting people is a lot of fun. Yes. And then he tried to suck up to us and said, especially if they're from Australia. I mean, you know, what a suck up. Anyway. Kenneth.
No Vegemite for you, Matt.
Fordman here. Kenneth Oakes is still listening while sitting in his own live stream. How he does that, I don't know. Amy from Amethyst Hayes is saying there's still stuff here she hasn't done on a cruise that she still needs to do. Water slides for one.
Yeah. Can't wait for those.
Okay, so
well, no, I was just going to say, because we're predominantly princess cruises, you know, you don't have water slides on.
No,
correct.
The ship or anything like that. And our family, especially with our kids, we've always been big roller coaster fans. But I've never really wanted to go on a roller coaster on a cruise ship. I don't, you know, like the new Mardi Gras got the Bolt, and it looks, I don't know, it looks pretty lame. I mean, Matt and Kimber have been on it. They might correct me, but compared to a land-based roller coaster, it's pretty, it's you know, it's not, I don't know. To me, it's a bit of a gimmick. And,
you don't miss those things on Princess, actually. And and people think it's a slightly older person's cruise line. But when we've been on, there have been plenty of children.
Oh, yes.
Can you stop talking about me like that? On Matt and Kimber last week was saying that whilst the Bolt is great, in actual fact, the Sky Ride was even better, because with the Sky Ride you're getting the exercise of actually pedaling this thing around the ship,
and lasts longer than the Bolt, the ride itself.
Yeah, and to me, to be quite honest, most people get on a cruise ship as a guest and leave as cargo. So
yeah,
I know that the important thing is, you know, let's enjoy and have fun. Just enjoy the trip.
Yes, and pace yourself with your food.
Yeah.
Could you imagine eating with Matt Allen and he had seafood?
Yes, you get a lecture.
I can bring this fish back to life. I can do it.
But now, wait a minute. You're sitting with both Matt and Kimber, and they're busy telling you about the life cycle of the cow, of the lobster, exactly which species it is we're eating, how many. No, shut up, Sean.
It'll be interesting.
Yep, it's going to be good fun.
It will be fun.
We're so looking forward to spending time with a bunch of people. We currently have got 20 cabins booked now. We just need the next.
That's great.
Love small.
We would like to try and get to 30 if we can, which will be awesome. And we're going to have a lot of fun, because you get to meet interesting. Well, look, we didn't cruise together, folks, but it's a pleasure to know the two of you. You know, we've met through trying times have actually caused us to meet this way. But having said that, I appreciate the fact that we have, and there's so much to learn from each other. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. I mean,
great community.
Yeah.
And where else? Well, apparently, because I just sit here and presses the buttons, but you can talk to anyone anywhere on the planet, and it's great. And you just make friends forever. I mean, what were the chances of us ever meeting? Ever?
Yeah. Between zero and zip.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. I can read your mind, Sean. You're thinking, damn you, Facebook. Damn you.
Mate, how did you manage that? How did you manage to get into my head? Oh, wait a minute. There's nothing in there.
It's a big, wide, open expanse.
It's a free pass in there.
Cruising. Folks, it's been an hour and 15 that we've been going. Thank you so much for your time. Hope we've educated these people across the pond as to what a great cruise is all about, especially down under. And just letting people know that we Aussies are no different to anybody else. And so we'd like to thank you for coming up on board. I'm going to shut this down. Don't run away. We'll have a debrief after the brief of the debrief. I'm going to shut this down and just say thank you to all the people who have come on board. And folks, let's have some fun. Let's enjoy what we've got. Yep. Good on the kids.
You're going to be disowned, Ian, if you're not careful.
Yep. And unfortunately, StreamYard has gone and done all sorts of things to my
Yes, we apologise for the
branding and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to cancel this out. Unfortunately, without the music, we shall do all of that next time.
See you next week.
Folks, have a great day. Have a great week. Take care and bye.
Bye now.
Bye.